application with colored simulated product. You're going to have 15 minutes to do this. Come on. Okay. You will perform highlighting with foil virgin application. You will place 4 foils on the top of the head from the front hairline to the apex. You will apply simulated highlighting product from upper edge of foil to hair ends. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 15 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 8 minutes remaining. Step back to indicate that you have finished. And then the instructions will be repeated. So what they're going to be looking for is highlighting with foil supplies are labeled in English. Implements and supplies are visibly clean. Subsections hair for highlighting with foils. Uses correct foil placement. Okay. So then you're gonna do the service, and then she's gonna say, if everyone look like they've stepped back and ready to go, all candidates have indicated that they have completed this section. Please do nothing until the verbal instructions have been given. So or she's gonna say, please stop working and do nothing until the verbal instructions have been written. So then she's gonna go around, she's going to look at everybody's final results of simulated product application. Okay, and look at the final results. And then she's going to say, again, individually, as she goes through and checks everyone, she's going to say, please do nothing until the verbal instructions are given. Okay, and then she's going to check out your draping, make sure that's fully intact. She's going to make sure that your items to be disinfected, so linens and trash are disposed of in the correct manner throughout section. Okay, and then at the very end, when she gets done, she's going to say, all examiners have indicated that they are ready to proceed. Okay, so any questions about highlights? So highlights, a little bit, not tricky, but there's a couple of things that that you need to be aware of so that you can do it properly and not lose points on. Okay, so some of that is you're going to go from, you have to make sure there's not many instructions, but when it says you will apply simulated highlighting product from upper edge of foil to hair ends, make sure that you do that. And then where's the one I want to say about the one from the hairline to the apex? You will place 4 foils on the top of the head. So in this section right here that you carved out previously, 4 foils on the top of the head from the front hairline to the apex. But what we have learned is, and you make sure you put this in your notes, is that you need to slice out some of this hairline, not a lot, but a little bit, and put it behind the ear, or you can use a yoyette to get it out the way. They don't want the hair in the face. They don't want this hair that you leave out, because you have to leave out hair for a foil, right? They don't want this hair laying in the face. All about client protection, okay? So what if there's something in that hair? It might get into her eye, it might get in her mouth or nose. Who knows, okay? Does that make sense to everyone? So that's an important one. So have a yoyette ready. Sometime the hair will act right and it will just move out of the way by itself. Okay. So you're going to carve this out. If it stays out of the way on its own, great. If not, go ahead and add it, put a yoyette, okay? So I'm going to bring this hair down. And because I've twisted this hair, it may not act right, okay? So it's one of those scenarios where I'm going to need a yoyette, okay? So you're going to grab your metal tail comb, okay? This is the only time during this test you're going to use this metal tail comb. Don't use it any other time, okay? So I'm going to carve out a thin section of hair. It really is about this part that rounds forward, okay? Get that, carve that out. grab a yo-yo and get that hair out the way. Okay. Then you'll drop out your next section of hair and clippy the other hair up. Okay, so you have to, in your mind's eye, depending on the size the doll you have and their head size, will decide how thick you need your subsections to be, okay, that you weave on top of. Okay, so for me, it looks like I'm gonna go like a 1/2 inch. Each section will be a 1/2 inch. Now I'm not gonna weave deep into a 1/2 inch, but my subparting that I'm gonna weave on top of will be a 1/2 inch, and that should get me from the hairline back to the apex. Okay, so I'm gonna go here, make a thin section so I could be at from the hairline. Just move that hair out of the way. But did I do that right? Yeah, I think that's right. Okay, move that hair out the way and then weave this. Oh, that's right. That's what I did wrong. Okay, yeah. So this is stuff that we learned from State Board that we don't normally do it this way, but that's how we have to do it to make them happy. Okay, so sorry, I made a mistake. So still from the front, but we're gonna slice this hair out. And we're gonna, after we weave it, then we're gonna put it to the side. Sorry, my mistake. So get that hair from the side. You're gonna weave on top of this like we always do. Then once you get this weaved, so this is your hair to be weaved, then then we're going to move this hair out the way, okay? So that when you lay your foil down, it's not in, the hair is not in her face, okay? Does that make sense? So I'm going to take this weave tip. Now I'm going to put this aside. Sorry about that. Okay, so now I'm going to get my foil. So you're going to get your foil. You're going to use your skinny foils, okay? And then you're going to put it on there. Don't worry about folding it. Don't worry about any of those things. You're just going to go in. You're going to place it under, get as close as you possibly can. Apply your product and fold up. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. Any questions about that?
So you have to distribute 4 foils evenly on that section?
As best you possibly can, yep.
How big would you say this section you have?
I said a 1/2 inch.
1/2 inch, okay. And then just...
But it depends on the doll. Your doll might be bigger, so you might need more space. I'm using the small doll, and so it's about a 1/2 inch. You might need more. Okay, so I'm using the lightener. Okay, so make sure you use your simulated lightener. Nothing else but the simulated lightener. Okay, a new brush. So a weave, or do a weave, not too thick of a weave, because when we open it up, your foil, and you do a thick weave and you haven't fully saturated, you'll lose points for that, okay? So you want to come here, lay it nice and flat, try to get it balanced on both sides if you can, okay? And then you're going to grab your lightener, your simulated lightener, and you're going to apply it from the upper portion of your foil. I would say 1/8 of an inch away. If you go more than that, you're going to end up with bleed marks. And then you're going to get deducted for that. Okay. Bleed marks would be like under, safety and that kind of thing. So you want to make sure that you don't get any bleed marks, okay? So also what we have heard is that they want it folded just one single time. Fold it one time and that's it, okay? So match up your corners like we did when we did highlighting. Pull the bottom to get that nice and flat and smooth. Okay. Okay. And they say that's all they want. Okay. Just fold it up and then leave your sides open so that it can oxidize the way that it needs to. Okay, because they say it needs air to process the way that it needs to. Okay. Does that make sense? So then you're just going to do your 4. So I got 3 more to go. Okay. And then once I do my 3, then I'm going to fold them back and take them off the face. Okay. Because we know that they don't want the foils laying on the face. You really don't have any choice right now. So you have to now, but as soon as you get done, you want to fold them back off the face. And so because we have that hair moved out the way, there'll be nothing, her face will be free. Okay, does that make sense? So it's a little bit different than what we normally do, but you just do it the way that they ask you to do it, you'll be fine. Okay. When we go up there to State Board, we try to get as much information as we can. We used to try to get it from the kit company, but somebody told them to stop giving out the answers, so we can't get it from them anymore. So we went up there when they had like an open house, which they never had before. We went to that, got to hear the information from there. So whatever information that we get from State Board, we give down to you all. Okay, that's the best that we could possibly do because no one knows exactly what they're looking for except for the minor little notes that they give in the NIC. Okay. So now here's my next one. So I weave out, not too thick. Put my foil down. Don't put any folds, just put the foil in there. Because you have to remember, this is supposed to be basic skill level, okay? Basic skill level. So if you start trying to do fancy stuff, they don't like that. So I used to teach this with folds and all that kind of stuff, which made them look really nice. Well, we found out they don't like that. So we don't do that. Okay. Match up your corners, hold, pull your sides so you get a nice clean fold. You want to look like you've done this before and not wrinkle up your foil like this is your first time controlling foil. And then I got 2 more to do, so I'm gonna split whatever I have left in half, okay? So that you can follow the directions. And really what this is all about is being able to follow directions, okay? Make sure your foil stay down. As you go to the next one, fine weave. They don't really care what your weave looks like, but I'm telling you, if you make it too thick and you don't fully saturate, you're gonna lose points. You guys remember how far away I said to stay from the edge?
1/8 of an inch.
Good, 1/8 of an inch, good. Close, but not too close to where you may accidentally get a bleed mark. You don't want you want the product to stay inside the foil. Okay, and that's my last one. Make sure my clip is free of hair. Lay this one down. Weave. Try not to put your comb down during this. The more you put your comb down, the more you clear you make it that you haven't been practicing. Okay. You need to be able to control, manipulate your tools. You learn that through practicing. Fold. Match up your corners. Seal down the bottom, and sealing down the bottom, just gonna make sure it stays in control. It won't move around too much. If you don't tighten this up, your top is gonna be more likely to move around, okay? Then you're gonna flip these back. When you flip them back, be careful so that you don't move them around too much. You don't want to misplace the product, okay? Get this hair up and out. Now, if the foils will stay back on their own, let them stay back on their own. If when you push them back and you step back to indicate that you are finished and they fall forward, I want you to just put a clip, okay? I don't want you to put this kind. Why? These teeth will go in and they will, what do you call it? They will pierce the foil. If you need to go in, you're going to go in with come on, what do you call these?
Yo-yet.
Duckbill, yo-yet, okay? Duckbill, yo-yet, okay? So that makes sense. There is no protective cream for this, so don't go out there grabbing that protective cream, start putting it around the hairline. Do exactly as I taught you here, okay? Make sure when you do your first, I'm gonna go over since I didn't do it the first time I sectioned out before. So you could have did that way, but I just want to get close enough to the scalp. So I took this hair out, my first section, weave that hair for my first foil, and then put it behind the ear, okay? So that I don't have hair laying in the face, okay? It doesn't really matter how you go about doing it, really, as long as the hair is not in the face while you're working, okay? Does that make sense?
And each subsection's about 1/2 inch, you said, right? And then you weave out.
It depends on the head. I'm using a small head, so it's about a 1/2 inch. If you're using a bigger head, it could be an inch, could be 3/4 of an inch.
Okay.
It just depends on how wide, from the front hairline to the apex. How much does that take?
Okay.
But so figure it out and kind of divvy it up in your brain, in your mind's eye, and then just go for it. And then you need to make adjustments as you go. Okay. So before you step back to designate you're finished, go ahead and take your brush out. Put your brush. You're not going to need this anymore. Put that in your items to be disinfected. Sanitize your hands. Close up your lid. Put it back. And then get ready. And then step back. And then be ready for her to come and check your final results. So when she comes, she's going to look, and what you're going to do is you're going to bring them down one at a time, and you're going to bring them down, and then you're going to open it up for us so we can see. Okay, and you'll bring them all. You'll either bring them all down or you'll bring some of them down. It depends on, usually what it depends on is what the first one looks like. If the first one looks messy, if the first one, they look like they disheveled, probably going to ask to see more. Okay, if they look pretty good, then I'll say, okay, maybe just let me see the first two. Okay, then you'll pull down one by one. You'll open it up. You let us look. You put it back. Then you go to the next one. Okay, then at the very end, go ahead and put them all back. That makes sense to everyone? Any
When
questions?
we put the foils back to the back of the head, can we like move all 4 at the same time, or we should do one by one?
It's up to you. How you were taught is to do them individually. So if you push them all back at the same time and you get product all over the other bits of the head or other hair, then you take the deduction.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, good. So now what we're gonna,
Tatiana, have a question, but not about like highlights, about if something drop or fall on the floor, I should pick it up with my naked hand or with the towel.
it depends on what it is. Okay, here's the deal. In my opinion, I want you to sanitize your hands after you pick anything up off the floor.
Of course.
So we used to teach, grab a paper towel, pick it up with a paper towel, throw the paper towel away, and then don't worry about it. But now with all the stuff we have going on now, if you pick up anything off the floor or anything that where you need to grab a paper towel and pick it up, throw it away, I want you to sanitize afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. Good question. Good question. And we did used to teach it that way, but I think in these times, I think we need to be overly cautious. Okay. Any questions about the PD test, about the highlight? So I'll stop recording and then I'll give you guys a few minutes to set up. I'll get reorganized and then we're going to watch you guys practice. We'll do the PD test.